What do you know, guys? The markets ended up giving back a lot of their gains from earlier, and we actually had the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 go red, which is crazy considering earlier those were up well over 1% each. We had the Nasdaq up well over 2%. It only went up 0.6% on the day, and we had the Russell up over 1% at one point, and it only went up 0.2% on the day. So a lot of selling intraday here. We're going to break down what I'm seeing on the charts, stocks that I'm looking at, and what I'm looking to do in the market. So sit back, relax, guys. Of course, take a sip of your water, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't done so already, and let's just dive into the video. So you can see here on the intraday chart, SPY hit $393 in the middle of the day. Not even. This was more towards the beginning of the day. It was at about 11:20 a.m. on the East Coast, and from that point, we pretty much sold off, and even in the aftermarket right now, we're selling off. The futures all across the board are down. We went from 394 almost. Now in the aftermarket, SPY's at $386 back to 386, which is an intraday drop. Well, technically not intraday because it's down even more after the bell, but overall, it is down 1.7% right now from the intraday high. And we'll talk about in a second why this is not the best sign for the bulls. And on Triple Q, if I pull this up, even though it still had a green day, it went down a good chunk intraday from 275.29 and it closed right at 270.50. It dropped about 1.8%. And now after the bell, it is down an additional, let's pull this up, an additional 0.3%. Again, all the futures across the board right now, when I'm filming at about 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, they are down, right? Down all across the board. And that's not a good sign. Again, not a good sign for the bulls. And going back to SPY, let me show you guys what I'm seeing here. Do you all recall the head and shoulders that I was talking about? You guys remember that? Well, we're back under the neckline, just like that. We had a bit of a false breakout today, which who knows, maybe we test it again tomorrow in terms of, testing the 180 SMA again, testing the highs from today. Maybe we test those tomorrow at some point this week. But as of now, we're back under the neckline, which is right around 388, 390. And if you guys have been watching the channel, you know that because I've been talking about that like crazy. So we broke out of that earlier. We hit about 393, whatever we hit, which was great. That was awesome. But the fact that the bulls couldn't hold 390, that's not a good sign. We're back under 388, back under the neckline. So we'll see what happens, later this week, guys. Do we end up taking 390 out again? I'm going to set two separate alerts here. One at 390, mark is at or above. Let me do that now. And then I'll set another one at the intraday high from today, actually a little bit higher than the intraday high from today, which was 393. I'll put my next alert at $394. Mark is at or above. So, yeah, if we do end up taking those highs out, okay, at that point, head and shoulders out the window. I'd be more confident for the bulls at that point. Maybe we start going 405, maybe just towards 400 in general, and we'll see how it goes. And going back to Triple Q, let me see what's going on here on the 4-hour chart. This does not look really good either at this point. The fact that we got rejected at the 180 SMA at 275 today. Also, we failed at the highs from the end of December. That's not a good sign. And if I just clear the drawing set, guys, get rid of some of this noise, what we're noticing is a head and shoulders on Triple Q as well. I mean, you guys can see it pretty clear as day at this point. Left shoulder right there. We got the head right here. And then we have the right shoulder. You guys see that. And again, we're failing at 275. This is hanging on by a thread above 270. I mean, if this thing breaks 270, we could be going low, mid 260s like that, at least in my opinion. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let's see how the VIX went up 4% today. Nothing crazy on the VIX, still in the very low 20s. So nothing much has changed there. Crude oil went down, I think, a little bit. It's right in the mid-70s a barrel, which, I'm not surprised considering the moving averages are right there on the 4-hour chart. We're still on a downtrend. We're failing at the mid-70s currently. So another thing worth mentioning is we have a head and shoulders on crude oil here. You guys see it clear as day. So if I had to guess, we're probably going to see this play out. The right shoulder play out. Maybe we start dumping low 70s again to test that 70 a barrel mark, which is the low from a couple weeks ago. Then if that were to break, we're talking, even lower lows here on crude oil. So let's talk about some stocks, guys. Etsy is looking pretty interesting right now. Ticker symbol ETSY. Let me pull that up and show you guys. Etsy right now, if I zoom in a bit, right off the bat, you can also see, funny enough, a head and shoulders on this. We have the left shoulder right there, the right shoulder, and then we have the head, and then we have the right shoulder. And the neckline on this is right around $125, which I think we tested that earlier today, and we ended up selling off from that point, but we still had a pretty decent green day, 0.3%. I mean, barely a green day, but still better than going red, right, guys? And yeah, it looks like we hit 124 earlier in the day. We closed a little bit above $120 a share. So in other words, what I'm looking at here, guys, is to see if Etsy can break that neckline right at $125. If it does take that out, we take out the 180 SMA, 50 SMA, which right now, mind you, on the 4-hour chart, we're under those points. We tried breaking out earlier, but closed under those points. If we start breaking 125, guys, 128.7-ish, this could really start breaking out. Maybe towards that 135, 140 level. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on here. Let's see if 125 breaks on ETSY. And another one that I've talked about, but not in the past couple of days, let's do a refresher, even in the past week or two probably, is Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. This one went down on the day, roughly 0.5%, but the fact that, if you guys look here on the intraday, the fact that it broke above 77 earlier, it actually got over $78, and we actually closed over 77. But the fact that we really got that pop this morning is a good sign, considering if I come back here on the 4-hour chart, and mind you, it's a good sign for the bulls. If we look here on the 4-hour, what's been a big resistance these past couple months? Right around 77, 77.50. So the fact that we plowed through that today, we also took the highs out from the beginning of December. That's a good sign for Activision. We played in this gap here like we talked about. We called that out about a week or two ago. Played in this. Now I think it's going to break out of 78, at least in my opinion. Of course, guys, please do your own research as always, but that's just my take. I'm going to set my alert at $78. Mark is at or above, and at that point, we'll see where it goes. Looking at this chart, we could be running towards the 80s. Do not be surprised if that does happen. So Chewy had a nice green day today. Let's do a follow-up on Chewy. It went up 7%. And look at that, guys. Look at that. This thing ended up bouncing right off the trend line that we drew, broke the 50, broke above the 180 SMA, closed above it as well today, which is very, very good. And at this point, it's looking like it wants to test the low 40s again. I mean, it's in the low 40s. Now it looks like it wants to test 42, maybe 42.50, which is right where my alert's at. Now, if that does end up breaking, there could be a lot more upside on Chewy, CHWY. It could fill the gap to about 45. Maybe it starts running 47, 48. So keep your eyes out on Chewy. It did very well today. Looks like the momentum for the bulls is there. And today, guys, Visa also broke out. Look at this. Ticker symbol V is one that we've been talking about. This is one that's been struggling at 218 or around 220 for months. I mean, for as long as you can see here on the 4-hour chart, as you all can see. And the fact that today, guys, if I pull the intraday, this hit 222. The fact that we're, pushing over 220, we're hitting 222. We didn't close over 220, but, we're showing some momentum. That's a very good sign. And like I've said time and time again on Visa, but I'll mention it again now for those of you guys that haven't heard my take on it, I'm thinking if we break 225, this thing's going to fly. We're going to see a push towards 230, 235. You guys can see a couple months ago, earlier in 2022, that's where we hit 230. In the very early days of 2022, we hit 235. These are the gaps that are going to fill, in my humble opinion. And if I show you guys this here, remember how we've been talking about head and shoulders? Well, this is an inverse head and shoulders on Visa. Call me crazy, but do you guys not see this? Inverse head and shoulders all day. I butchered that a little bit, but inverse, excuse me, as I'm choking on the mic, inverse head and shoulders all day here on Visa, guys, which means if that right shoulder plays out, again, 230, 235, that's where this could be going. So Visa, pretty decent day, 0.4% green day on the day today. And let's see what other ones. I forgot. I got a comment about Party City, guys. PRTY, which to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this. I probably have to do a little bit of a deeper dive, but it's been wild. The swings have been wild on the stock. Today it went up 15%. Let's see here. What's going on? Is this a new Wall Street bet stock? Probably. Probably. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. But yeah, party shareholders are trading higher after the stock fell last week on reports of potential. Oh, are they going bankrupt too? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, Party City and bondholders hire restructuring advisors. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, the stock is getting demolished. It has been demolished. I mean, guys, if you see these type of cliff dives after the past 2 earnings reports, well, maybe not the 2 earnings reports ago, but 2 out of the last 3 earnings reports, the stock cratered. That's not a good sign. And the fact that it's accelerated by this much in the past couple of months. Look, just back in the beginning of November, Party City was $1.50, still, a penny stock, but not, I guess not a literal penny stock, but some people say under $5 a penny stock. I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, I guess. But it went from the point is it went from $1.50 to 15 cents in 2 months. That's insane. That's about a 95% drop in 2 months. And if you guys look here, back in April, May, the stock went from $3.18 to $1.10 after earnings. Oh my God, that is insane. From $3.15 to $1.10. I don't even remember that. I guess it wasn't on my radar back then. But now it is. I mean, a bunch of you guys are commenting. I'm seeing it a bit out there in the news. 65%. It went down 65% during that time period. So, I mean, would I touch this stock? Heck no. No chance. I mean, could you make some money on it? Who knows? You might be able to if you gamble on it and buy it for 20 cents and flip it for 30 cents. If you think it might see a bit of a rally like it did today. I mean, look, guys, it went up 2 cents today and it went up 15%, 15% on 2 cents. That is insane. So yeah, I wouldn't touch this. I really wouldn't touch BBBY either, Bed Bath & Beyond, which is going bankrupt as well, most likely. This went up 24% today, which, guys, I mean, I made a short on this, and I talked about it on TikTok. Make sure to go follow me on TikTok, at Stas Talks Stocks, and on Snapchat as well. I started a Snapchat recently, guys. If you want to add me on there, Stas Talks Stocks on Snapchat. I mentioned how the rally in these stocks is unfortunately over. The bull run of 2020, 2021, the meme stock bubble, people that are clinching or holding on to that and thinking it's going to come back. Oh, it's going to be saved. Those days are over. And a lot of you guys know that. I mean, you've been known that, but believe it or not, there's still some people out there hanging on like, oh, is Bed Bath & Beyond going to squeeze again? Is AMC going to squeeze again? Sure, it could double up. I'm not saying these stocks are not going to see any rallies. I mean, I'm not going to say I guarantee, but I'm pretty positive myself that GameStop's going to see another rally. AMC, even Party City maybe, or Bed Bath & Beyond in the short term here, but until they go bankrupt. But are they going to go all the way back up hundreds of percent? There's no shot. That era is over, guys. The cheap money for now is over unless the Fed pivots, which who knows, they might in the short term. That's what Michael Burry thinks. We talked about that recently. But yeah, I think it's over. And, again, we might see some short-term rallies. Maybe it rips 30% here, 20% there. But the thousands of percent gains, they're done, at least in my opinion. Of course, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below, as always, guys. So let's see what other stocks ended up running up today before we do wrap up the video. And by the way, if you guys haven't gotten your 12 free stocks from Webull, use that link down below or go to StasSurfAst.com/Webull. And if you want some free money, who doesn't like free money? It also helps out the channel. All you have to do is deposit any amount of money. And again, you get 12 stocks. I think each of them could be up, or total could be up to $30,000. I mean, you'd be very lucky if that were to be you, to be honest, but it could be you. But either way, you're going to get some free stocks. And again, it also helps out the channel. I appreciate you all as always. So use that link down below or go to StasSurfAst.com/Webull. That's StasSurfES.com/Webull. Get your free stocks, guys. So GameStop, AMC, that's my take on all those. Bed Bath & Beyond, Party City, let me know your thoughts as always. So let's see here. Adobe is one that I'm looking at as well. I think I covered this earlier today. We have an ascending triangle on Adobe, clear resistance at 350. I think if that breaks, guys, even though I want this thing under $300 as a long-term position, it's running away from me. Who knows if it will get there? But if 350 breaks, 365, maybe we go up even more from that point towards 400, which, I mean, it's a little bit far-fetched to say that now. I don't want to say far-fetched, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. All I'm saying is, that is where potentially in the future it could be going. So Adobe did very well today. Tesla had a very good green day, went up about 6% on the day, closed just a hair under the highs from last week and from the end of December, being about 124.25. I'm telling you guys, in the short term, that is going to be a sticking point for Tesla, and it needs to break out of there. If it does break 124, 125, we could see an extended rally. We're not there yet, but that's kind of what I'm waiting for the rest of this week. So I guess we can wrap up the video there, guys. Pretty wild day. We have CPI later this week, like you guys probably know. That's on Thursday in the morning. That's going to be interesting. Inflation is coming down, although it's still very high, historically speaking. It is coming down year over year slightly, so we'll see how the market does react. Well, I don't think it's coming down I meant month over month. Either way, the numbers are slowly year over year too. That big number where it was 8% or 8.6, whatever it was at the peak, it's projected to be 6.5% now. So we'll see, guys, and that's annualized, of course. So yeah, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. And if you didn't know, I have a second channel called Stas Talks Money, where we're talking more about general finance. And I'm actually bringing something very good to that channel that I'm kind of gonna start incorporating, which you're going to see very soon. Very interesting content coming to that channel. You guys are going to want to subscribe. Stas Talks Money. I'll leave the link down below, or just go to the search bar, type it in. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching as always. Peace out.